Yeah, welcome to this week's Outfit Tales. So we've got a sunny, after the storm of what, 4 or 5 days ago now, a sunny southwest Scotland.
What's the name of the storm?
No, I don't know, I forgot because we've had another one since then.
Yeah.
So this week we'll talk a little bit about the storm and what we've been doing.
Yep.
What's we got?
A Hind package.
Hind package, yeah, and oh yeah, we're going to bring you a little bit Falconry package.
And a little short discussion on this week's events.
A little bit of news,
seasons.
Yeah. So we'll probably go straight into what we're doing this week then.
Okay, so this week I've been mostly up in Argyll in the in the blustering winds.
In a hurricane?
Yeah.
Strength 2?
On the Friday there was no chance of me going out. One, it was too dangerous because of all the deadfall and stuff like that.
3 year, 3 year wuss.
Yeah, I was up there with Robert. Our Bavarian friend from Germany, well, Germany, Bavaria. 2
weeks he's done it.
Yeah, so we're up there for some Sika Hinds and some Red Hinds, done well. Shooting's left a lot to be desired, shall we say.
Yeah, well, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
But he's 82.
But in fairness, he wouldn't take any shots that was outside his capability.
It's fine. It's a bit frustrating for you because you've got what you would consider to be an easy shot, but as we both say to clients, look, they know what they're looking at, they know how they feel. If they're not comfortable, do not press the trigger.
All we'll say is, when you're ready,
yeah,
and then wait,
yeah,
and then it's up to you to pull the trigger.
I had a similar thing actually because we had a couple of guys out, well, Max and Lindsay out on a nice introduction to stalking, first time ever out in the field.
The wife and husband
from
the show.
Met at the game fair, so that's really good. That's something we're really about. So we're bringing you a package on that anyway, which hopefully that will be next week. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah. But same for them, you know, people sometimes come, first of all, they think we're maybe going to pressure them into taking a shot. We would never do that, ever. I would rather somebody not take a shot. Well, not rather, insist really. They don't take a shot unless they are completely comfortable. And we've checked them on the range, so we know the ability of any individual client, whether it be a newbie or whether it be somebody that's shooting years, and some of their shooting's appalling. So we're assessing how good they are, and then we will gauge at what distance we will allow them to shoot at. And as you were just saying a minute ago, we'll tell them, okay, if you're ready or whatever, and then it's up to them.
Yeah. Obviously, wait for it full broadside. If it's not full broadside,
maximum margin for error.
But yeah, as you say, mate, we can't see what they're looking at down the scope.
No. So I'm dressed in. Well, I'm in my working garb. I mean, chainsaw and hat and everything. I've just been clearing up some of the debris. You've obviously
modelling. He's pretending to be working.
You're modelling new clothing and all the rest of it. I have to, I've got mucky clothing on here. But there's a really big Scots pine gone up there.
That one up next to the rain top.
Yeah,
I
massive.
saw that yesterday.
I mean, that's a girth on it like that.
That's not uprooted. That's snapped.
Just twisted it round and banged it down. I've not seen.
There's a few trees like that up in Argyll as well.
I think your wind was possibly a bit stronger than ours, and it gusted to 108 miles an hour here. Was the strongest recorded gust.
I don't know what it was up there, but I know there's some
an island copped it, big style.
Some oak trees up there that have been there for like 150, 200 years, and they just snapped like matchsticks.
But anyway, like we said in Yorkshire, that was probably a good drying day.
Yeah.
So
Yorkshire gets the worst of the weather, doesn't it?
Enough waffling. Coming up, what have we got? We have got a hind clip for you. So hope you enjoy that one. Okay, we're on a bit of a twofold mission this afternoon. We've probably got a couple of hours before it drops sort of darkish, but there's a couple of things. Firstly, Rifle's underloaded being basically magazines on, there's no rounds in the chamber and it's secured on the bike. So that I have it like that so that if we have to get off the bike for any reason I can just engage around and we can stalk. So just to explain why the bolt's closed and the mag's on, that's the condition it's carried in there. A couple of things, this morning while we're out stalking we spotted a hind. I was kind of definitely carrying a leg. I'm not quite sure how. Could have been rutting activity, could have been an old injury, but I was speaking to the keeper up here as well. He'd seen it, so it's kind of hanging around in an area up above the sort of junipers at the top side of the wood. So it's obviously living in a broadleaf wood, probably just across our back here. So we're just going to go and have a look at that and just see if we can see it. Because obviously I'd like to just check that out. I mean, if it is injured, if it's got a bad wound, then we'll try and shoot that. Don't like injured animals on the hill, so we're going to assess that. And the second thing is, idiot here dropped my stag call a couple of days ago, and I think it's kind of broadly in the same area, which is where we recovered some a stag from so about 3 days ago. So we're going to stalk through the wood. I'm actually going to retrace my steps and see if we can find my stag call as well. But the main function really this evening is to try and get to see if we can see that hind and put it out of its misery if needs be. So that's the plan. Okay, so this is the restock site. You can see very, very young. Mostly sick spruce planted in here, left the broadleaves in, but the deer are coming down off the hill which is behind us and are working down through the broadleaf trees, and they're tending to come through over this wall down below us, and most of the damage has been done in this like little basin, little plateau. I've shot 3 or 4 out of here already, but they're still coming down, so I need to shoot some more just to put them off. They're particularly coming down last thing at night and feeding at night mostly, so we're catching them first thing in the morning and then just this sort of hour before dark. But I'm going to work through the wood and hopefully try and intercept maybe 1 or 2 if they're coming down while we're here. Okay, you can clearly see the regular recent tracks through the rushes there. You can see them working down off the hill, down the banking, coming through the rushes, and then they're coming through to these 2 or 3 main gaps in the wall and going onto that restock there. So mostly this is taking place at night. You can see them starting to drift off the hill just as the light starts to go. Stag wall here that they've been using. Okay, you can see here where this is right on the edge of the hill now, this bracken bank. There's a forwarded track just up above it, and then we've got open hill pushing up through some of the old ancient woodland, which is one of the reasons why it's kind of a site of special interest. There's some ancient junipers, juniper communis grow here, and you can see the open hill just up beyond us. The deer tend to lie up on the tops and then they'll migrate down. Okay, we have the dog nicely pointing on my lost stag call. Still works. So that is part 1 of the mission accomplished. Now we're going to try and find this hind. As a small group of hinds with stag in tow came up, we actually noticed that one of them was carrying an injury of some sort. I mean, the deer itself generally looked in good condition, but clearly was in some sort of discomfort because it was kind of hobbling a bit, I think from the front right foreleg. So kind of watching that as it came up, and obviously that's the one that I wanted to try and shoot. And it basically followed really quite a nice line, came to a point about 150, 160 metres below us, kind of stopped a bit and then kind of turned right to come across in front of us. And when the hind stood clear on her own from the group, which she did, fortunately came into a position where we were able to take the shot. And she ran about 20-30 metres and then dropped into a patch of rushes to the left. So really it was a good deer to take. Interestingly, I went forward to do the growler. There was actually no evidence of any sort of an injury. I couldn't see anything on the external examination. There was no obvious signs of anything. No sort of bullet injury or maybe no break or something like that. But basically, because the hind was limping, it's not one that I would tag and put into the food chain. So that one wouldn't go to the dealer. We will keep that out, and effectively I'll skin that off and have a look at that. If there's no other evidence of any problems, then we'll use it ourselves for personal consumption. And clearly, obviously, if there is any sort of a problem at all, then carcass will be discarded. But it's not one that I would tag up and put into the system. I prefer to have a look at that myself and find out just if there was anything, any sort of idea of what was causing that limp.
Hope you enjoyed that clip, guys. A wee bit of hind stalking that was up in Kinnaird, I believe.
Yeah.
Which also brings me on to my next subject. Obviously, in the past few days,
Good news, actually.
well, it's good news. Obviously, I have mentioned it a few times in previous and possibly even later ones, because we mentioned this a few weeks ago when we were getting filmed by the submarine guys.
Yeah.
About obviously extending the deer seasons for the hinds. And SN8, well, Nature Scott.
Nature Scotland as it is now. You can't
Yes.
keep up with the names because
No.
they keep changing them every flipping
So Nature
week.
Scott have now turned around and says no, it's not going to happen. But obviously there's still out of season licences and stuff which will help for the reason why they want to introduce it. But yeah.
The out-of-season licences have always been there under the general licence. We've banged on about this at length. I quote on it frequently. I think we should mention the work done by the organisations BASC and particularly the Scottish Gamekeepers Association.
Yes.
Have done a massive amount of work. Alex and the team there, massive amount of work behind the scenes lobbying and trying to educate people as to just the implications of that. The legislation already exists if there's an issue to control hinds under licence, so why on earth you would want to bring it under general licence it is beyond us. But a bit of good news actually, because as far as the Scottish Government's concerned, with all matters relating to anything to do with the countryside, snares, pest control, deer, it tends to be bad news, but they've actually listened to people.
Yeah.
So
I think the main
you.
reason they did it though was for because of the mental health of the stalkers.
Yeah, that's
nothing to do with the
not to do with the
well-being and welfare of the
welfare
deer.
of the deer. No, and that's right. I get that as well. But they should look at the whole picture. They just don't listen to. Our politicians do not listen to people that know what they're talking about. The first thing is put politicians in a job that they've got some experience of, some background in. That would be a good thing. Have politicians with a bit of life experience that's actually done something. And I've got some ability, because most of this lot I wouldn't employ them in a factory. Oh, shut up, right, shut up. Right, get off. I'm going on one. I'm off on one. Anyway, good news.
Yeah. So what we've got coming up next?
Oh yeah, the falconry. Yeah, we had Rafa and Biet, I can't pronounce her name, Biet, and apologies Beatrice if I pronounce it wrong. I think it's Bieta, the correct pronunciation, who's a vet. Rafa, you've had out quite a lot, and his son Matthew. And basically, nice guys, but they're training a 2-year-old Harris Hawk. I'm fascinated by this. I've always really wanted to I've never
Something I've not had much experience with.
I haven't had any at all, to be honest, apart from the demonstrations you see at various events. But I've always fancied being out in the field with somebody flying a hawk or a falcon. So they're training a 2-year-old Harris Hawk called Sol. So I really did a bit of an interview with them. Actually, we put them on a bit of ground here just to sort of continue the training process. So anyway, we'll have a look at that because I enjoyed that.
And we can follow up in the future as well. When
that's the plan.
Going through the training, yeah.
That's the plan.
So here we go, guys.
Morning. Come on.
So you got him in June, July.
Yeah.
Is it so 18 months old or whatever broadly? Is this his first time hunting now, or have you been doing a bit of work up to this point?
We trained him for rabbits.
Right.
So we did the lures first pull on the string.
Yeah.
Then we shot a rabbit, pulled the rabbit, also shot rabbits. And then he learned. So he already got 2 rabbits. So far.
So far.
So far. Yeah.
So what about flight subs? So the sort of things that what's his name?
Sol.
Sol. So Sol, what would that be the main thing you would be interested in, flying on rabbits, or what about pheasant and duck? Or
He never got a pheasant yet.
that's the plan, is it?
So
here.
This is we would like to introduce him to pheasants with the hope that he will get some.
Okay, so he's very interested in that then. So that's the lure that you use for training?
Yeah, he lived as a pheasant lure.
Okay.
Putting piece of meat here and just flying there. So
And that's his reward.
rough idea he have how the pheasant may look like before he will, of course. Yeah,
Definitely quite keen on that.
Harris Hawks are not like Ghost Hawk. Ghost Hawk is much faster.
Yeah.
So Harris Hawk would need to ambush to catch a pheasant, so he will be on the tree, and when he sits,
Okay.
he will come after that. He have no chance. He tried chase from the glove.
No chance.
No chance.
It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So just talk me through what you will do now then. So forget I'm here or anything. You're going to work along that hedgerow.
Yes.
So what would you do? So how will you tackle that now? When I go and leave you to it, what will you do?
We just try to find a place, preferably meadow. Or meadows that he may see something, so we will change the places. We'll ask you later how far we may go.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we will change the place from place to place. Try to sit him on the tree after he sees something first.
So you're going to try and find an area that you think, yeah, I get that. Okay, right, okay, fine. Well, this is a riverbank actually. So normally there are pheasants that would possibly have been out on the stubble, and then when they've seen us coming, they've gone in there. So you can kind of walk along the riverbank, right down into the corner. And then you can't go any further, so you'll see where at the end of this field, but there's a pond. There's a pond down there in that valley with a lot of rushes and reeds around it, which is it's a good. I mean, there'll be duck on there, there'll be mallard on there, and there'll be teal on there, which you'll see, and the bird will see. And some of them will fly, but some of them will go into the rushes. Yeah, well, anyway, we'll kind of leave you to it. What I would like to do, I'll come out one day with you and actually film the whole thing when you sort of fly the bird up into tree and everything. But I thought this was just nice because I'm fascinated. I'm sure the people that watch Outfitter Tales will be fascinated, and we'd like to follow Sol's progress as he develops into a lean, mean killing machine. But a beautiful, beautiful bird. Okay, so one thing I didn't realise, I tried to get them what I thought was a nice piece of ground, so a bit like an amphitheatre. It's basically one of the farms that I manage, and it's a bit like a little natural amphitheatre with a pond, a lot of duck on it, and quite a lot of pheasant in the rough margin around the edges. There's a riverbank, and it kind of drops away. I thought that would be ideal because there's some big trees, deciduous woodland along the side of it. Harris Hawk can go into tree and then obviously drop down onto prey when it's flushed or whatever. What I didn't realise was that Raffle had a problem with the hawk when he'd flown it somewhere near a body of water, because it had either gone after something and ended up in the water, or it had gone across the water. I can't remember, and he had a hell of a job getting it back. So actually the location, although to us we thought was ideal for that big the pond, the Cane Pond, it wasn't a good place for them. So anyway, they had a good
Stick 'em over the
session.
field.
They went right round. Basically, the way, well, it's on the clip, but the way they fly the hawk, it basically, ideally, what they ideally
all on
wanted
sight,
to do
innit?
was they want to see a pheasant somewhere kind of on the edge of the wood. They want to put the hawk up into the tree, and then it can see it, and then, and it apparently never misses. But they're not the type of hawk that will fly after it, a bit like a peregrine or anything
They're
like
not
that.
fast, are they?
They're not fast.
No.
They kind of, it seems to be more like an ambush and a drop on. Apparently, it's red hot on rabbits, and I just wondered about. I'll talk to you about this anyway. Whether we've somewhere, I just think you maybe have somewhere
Of
where.
course.
Well, I'm just wondering about the flying them on rabbits.
They tend to come out at the night time though, don't they?
Yeah, but duskish maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
Well, anyway, we'll talk to you about that. So what we want to do is follow that up and actually go out in the field with the camera and follow the hawk and just see it in action. I certainly would like to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
And is that about it then?
That's about us for this week.
Yeah, what we've been doing. Yeah, so that's it. So
We're off down. Well, I'm off back up Argyle later this week.
yeah, we got clients arriving today.
Tomorrow.
No,
well,
today.
tonight and then out tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, out tomorrow. So they'll be here any time. Then we've got a guy and an introduction to stalking. So a busy week again. And then the following week we're kind of prepping for
Bedfordshire,
Southern,
Hertfordshire. Yeah,
Southern, where we're going to
Southern
film
trip.
some bits and pieces down there. So, as always, thanks for watching. We should have a bit of news next week about potential sponsorship, so that should be quite exciting.
We've said that a few times now, though, haven't
Yeah, but this is yeah, but we're there now. We're kind of there now. So we'll cover that. So as always, keep liking and subscribing because we need that, as we've said many times before. So it's a good night from me,
we? And it's a good night from him.
and as always, watch this space.
Cheers.